Oh, hey, good morning, my fellow fantasy football freaks. Good to see you again. I know it's been a little bit since I've really been on screen and shit. Since actually my 40th birthday bash. Hopefully you saw that. If you didn't, go ahead and take a look at it right up there. But anyway, welcome to your Thursday BnB, the only fantasy show that takes place from the comfort of my own bed. I hope. Now for breakfast this morning, I'm going a little bit light, alright? I've got a grapefruit going on here, you know, and trying to be a little bit more healthy, you know. It's a holiday season, it's my birthday month, so you know I'm eating a lot of extra shit, cutting back for the breakfast, that's all. Toast and jam there. I like bread and butter, I like toast and jam. No, I don't know. You shouldn't have to listen to me sing. What the fuck? Don't worry about it. Anyway, got the coffee here in the gun mug as usual. Bang. Oh shit. Looks like it's a little jammed up. That was fucking stupid. So whether you're enjoying breakfast in bed yourself, or you're listening on your way to work, or taking a shower, or you're watching this later on after a long day of work, or you're cooking dinner or eating dinner, or you're squeezing your nips, I don't give a shit. I hope you enjoy the show however you enjoy the show. Although if watching the show makes you want to squeeze your nips, maybe you're enjoying it too much. But you do you. I ain't here to judge. I'm here to bring you only the best in fantasy football advice, while not putting you to sleep, even though I'm doing this show from the bed. Anyway, we got a matchup tonight we got to go over. It's the Steelers and Vikings in Minnesota, with a lot of relevant fantasy players involved. So what do I think about it from a fantasy perspective? Well, I thought you'd never ask. And you didn't. I did. So, anyway. So I happen to have an entire show where I break this game down from a fantasy perspective. It's called Benches and Bumps, Benches and Bumps, Benches and Bumps. And this is my special Thursday night edition, my Thursday Benches and Bumps, or Thursday BnB. I'm starting off with the hometown Vikings, and my bump for them for this game is Alexander Madison. Now all indications are that Dalvin Cook is going to sit, so Madison is going to get the start. And if he gets the start for this game, he's getting a start on your squad. Because we all know that when he starts, he's capable of Cook-like production. He had 22 carries last week, and I expect him to have a big workload once again. And the Steelers can be had in the ground game, giving up the 12th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. And that bodes well for Madison, practically guaranteeing him 20-plus carries in this game. I expect around 100 yards and a touchdown, and yeah, you'll take that from an RB2 or flex, right? And that's where most of you are playing Madison. Yeah, I know. Playing a running back on Thursday night is like sending your kid off to public school. You know it's probably not the best idea. But it might just be your only option, as you can't afford to do anything else. That ain't even funny. That's just a sad-ass truth. But hey, unlike public schools, Alexander Madison could actually lead you to success. So if you gotta start a running back on a Thursday, you could do worse than giving the bump to Madison this week. Class dismissed. No, wait, don't go away, I still got more. Now as for the Steelers bump, I like me some Chase Claypool this week. He hasn't been quite the player we were hoping he'd be this year, especially considering the potential we saw in him last year. But he hasn't been completely abysmal either, so we can't really call him a bust. And he's had at least 11 fantasy points and 8 targets in 2 out of the last 3 games. Big Ben's starting to get the ball to him more, despite the fact that he's looking more past his prime than a hooker who takes war bonds. And the Vikings have a lot of potent offensive players, and they can score a lot of fantasy points. And that can force the Steelers into the passing game, which means more opportunities for Claypool. Now we all know that Deontay Johnson's a starter every week, even if he drops balls like a 12-year-old boy. But Chase is still the number 2 wide receiver on the team, and against the second worst team at defending fantasy wide receivers, and with Johnson likely double-teamed, Claypool could end up being the man in the passing game this week. Bump him up tonight. You know, I haven't even eaten any of this breakfast. I told you a little bit about it earlier, but I really haven't even had any, you know. I made that stupid joke about the jam, and then I moved on. And if you laughed about that, then shame on you. But anyway, I'll have a little bit here. Like you said, you know, we got some grapefruit going on. This shit's hard to do with a fucking fork. I should've, cut this up first or some shit. But I wanted it to be, visually... Fuck! Jesus! I got some shit in my eye. Fucking deep. It's like breakfast that kills you. What the hell? That's pretty good, though. A little pulp friction. Fuck, let's move on. Wait, okay, I got some toast here, too. Sourdough toast, raspberry jam. Gotta love it. Now let's move on with the sleepers. God, Jesus. Now for the hometown Vikings, kinda like KJ Osborne this evening. Why did I look around like that? Like I'm just, shh, don't tell anybody. This is just going out on the internet. What the fuck? I had him in my top 10 waiver wire picks this week. Of course, because Adam Thielen is down with a high ankle sprain. So he's going to miss the next 2 to 3 weeks. And while he's out, KJ Osborne should play well. Though he's played well whenever he's had to fill in as the number 2 guy. So he's a classic case of a pick up and play guy. Especially against the Steelers team, who are bottom 10 at defending against opposing wide receivers in fantasy. So he might still be out there for you if you've got injury issues or need a bye week fill-in. Now, if your team is still alive to the point where you're still watching these advice shows, then likely this is not the first bold move you've made, nor will it be your last, especially if you're dealing with absent players or you're in a deep league. So make this bold move with confidence. Although I know you won't, I know you're going to do what you always do, hemming and hawing and trying to figure out who to do, switching it back and forth and all that shit, tinkering with your team like you do always. Even though both I and your gut know it's a good move. Yeah, I talk to your gut. I know what it thinks. And it thinks you need more fiber. Oh, yeah, and start KJ Osborne. I don't really talk to your gut. I don't always speak gut. I mean, I guess I could try. It needs to be something like... What the fuck was that? I don't even... What's this one, like, playing piano or something? I don't know what the fuck's going on. This is getting off the rails. Let's move on. For the Steelers, I'm going deep. Double deep, danger dive deep. Not sure why I had to say deep so many times, but, you know, whatever. I think Ray McLeod could be a sneaky-ass play. Before he went into COVID protocol, he was seeing a big uptick in targets, including 12 targets in Week 10. Yeah, I know Mason Rudolph had a lot to do with that, but Big Ben has still been throwing to him too. Not so much last week, but this week, with the Vikings DBs busy with Claypool and Johnson, Ray could be the benefactor of mismatches against slower safeties and maybe even linebackers, depending on the play and who's involved. You could have a high volume, low production kind of game, like 6 or 7 catches for like 60 yards or so, and if he happens to get a touchdown, that's a solid game for him. If not, you'll take the 12 or 13 points into your flex. Now, most likely, if you're like in a 10 or 12 team fantasy league, you probably have better options. But if you're like a super deep league or you're playing them in daily fantasy, and speaking of DFS, if you're in a state that doesn't allow you to play daily fantasy, or you are and you just want to play more, I've got something for you. Check it out in the description below. It's called Super Draft Pro. Go to superdraftpro.com/thefantasytyrant. Spell it all out. Alright? And you'll get access to bonus free contests. Alright, so they get this loophole where they give you a membership and they give you free contests. So you can either get a free membership or pay up to get more contests with less competition and more money that you can win. It's worth paying a little bit to win a lot. And with my help, you'll rock that shit. So there you go, superdraftpro.com/thefantasytyrant. Check out this video here for more information and to know how you can get entries into my grand prize giveaway just by signing up, even for the free tier. No, I'm not paid by them. Yes, it helps me to sign up on that link. But I'm telling you, I love this app. Anyway, didn't mean to stick you guys to a promo on that. It just kind of came up. Now I'm going to eat a little breakfast and you're just going to sit there and like it. I'm going to give this another try. I need like a face shield or some shit. Why the fuck do they eat it this way in movies? It doesn't really work. You gotta have like a grapefruit spoon, a special spoon, I guess. That's good, but I gotta find a better way to eat it. Shit. I love getting my fruit in jelly form. They should make grapefruit jelly. Or maybe not. I don't know. Now for the dark side of things. As I give you my benches of the week, and my bench for the Vikings is Tyler Conklin. Yeah, I know. I love the Conk too. So you know I ain't sitting him unless there's a damn good reason. And I got one for you. The Pittsburgh D. Now, I think that Pittsburgh D can be had at other positions, but they happen to do pretty damn well against the tight end, giving up the 9th fewest fantasy points to the position. I think we see a lot more Madison and the wide receivers. And maybe Conk fills in here and there, but I don't think he's going to be a major player in this game. Unless he catches a touchdown, he ain't going to be worth much this week. And unfortunately for him, the Steelers haven't allowed a tight end to catch a touchdown since week 6. And they've only allowed 2 touchdowns from tight ends on the season. Conklin was a good pickup this week. But if you have other options, you might want to go that route. You know, save the Conk for another day. I need to start getting paid for that Conk nickname, because I'm starting to hear it. And I know no one else was clever enough to come up with that name on their own. You know I had to be the first and only one to do that, right? Anyway, if you can, and I bet you can, leave Tyler Conklin On your bench! On the other side of the field, I'm benching the Pittsburgh D. Yeah, I know, I just said that they would take care of Tyler Conklin at the tight end position. But I also said that that was their strength and that they could be taken to task at other positions. Kirk Cousins runs this team like a well-oiled touchdown machine. Whether it be through the air or on the ground, the Vikings get it done. Kirk Cousins has his team right on the border of top 10 scoring in the NFL, averaging over 25 points per game on the season, and over 29 points per game in the last 3 games. Plus they rank 8th in turnover ratio, so yeah, they're a potent offense who doesn't turn over the ball that much. So I expect them to keep the Pittsburgh D to modest fantasy point numbers this week. And the fact that the Vikings are giving up the second fewest fantasy points to opposing defenses should drive that point even further. So that's a lot of numbers and things to consider. Let's see, carry the 5. You know what, fuck it. I don't need to do the math to know the numbers add up till you don't start the Pittsburgh D this week. It's a bad game for them, so leave them on your bench. Now we get to the bust alerts, and I've got one out on Kirk Cousins this week. Yeah, I know I just said that he could take care of the defense. But listen, I think it's going to be a lot more of a running game. Madison will take care of most of the work. Kirk Cousins will be a team leader much more than he is a big scoring threat this week. Now, I was pretty much the only analyst who said that he was going to be a top 10 quarterback this season. So why am I down on him for this game? Well, because it's a Thursday night game. The QBs haven't fared well on Thursday night games this season. And while the Steelers D hasn't been particularly stout against QBs this year, they haven't really been pushovers either. And like I said, on a Thursday night game, on a short week, we could see them leaning on the run with Madison a lot more. Now, I'm not saying you sit Cousins, just don't be surprised if he doesn't put up his customary 20 fantasy points. Chances are you're still starting him, but if you're fighting for a spot in the playoffs, and you have QBs with better matchups, and you need to make a bold move, you might want to go that route. But you better have a really good other option, though. Don't sit him for Mac Jones or Tua or Carr or some shit, and then come to me saying, hey, you told me to sit Kirk Cousins. Yeah, don't come complaining to me if you do something stupid like that. Yeah, I see a lot of you turning red right now, you know what I mean. Anyway, start Captain Kirk, but with caution this week. And finally, I got a bust alert out on Najee Harris. No, he hasn't been a bust this season. When I have my bust alerts, it's just for the games only. However, he may have hit that proverbial rookie wall. After going over 20 fantasy points in 5 straight games, Harris has gone under 18 fantasy points in the last 5 games, including a 6.7 point outing in week 12. With Big Ben draining the fantasy point potential from that team, like that hooker from earlier drains balls. Yeah, aren't you glad I brought her up again? That crazy old whore. Everyone loves her. She's the life of the party. Anyway, with the combination of old Ben and new Najee both hitting their end of season walls and playing on the road, I'm concerned about the production for Harris in this game. The Vikings will likely put up enough points to where the Steelers are going to have to throw downfield. And on top of that, we can't discount that rookie wall. It's a thing, especially for running backs. Now, he'll be a stud again next season, and I'm not saying that he won't be the rest of the season either. I'm just saying on a short week, with the way he's been playing, he might not hit those RB1 numbers that you're expecting. I can't think of a scenario where you really can afford to sit him unless you're like completely stacked at running back and you have balls the size of, well, you get the picture. But don't be surprised if Harris takes a dump on a short week. So that's it, fantasy football freaks. Don't forget about the grand prize giveaway, where you could win a signed DeAndre Swift jersey. I know you probably can't see the signature from there, but there's a signature right here. You get a certificate of authenticity, right? Do I normally sleep with DeAndre Swift jerseys in my bed? Yeah, what's it to you? No, I'm just kidding. But if you want to win this jersey, you got 3 ways to do it. Either sign up on superdraftpro.com/thefantasytyrant, or become a Patreon member, or donate to either Venmo, PayPal, or whatever. And remember, half the donations this month go to Dornbecker's Children's Hospitals, so you can help them, help yourself, help me, all at the same time. Win, win, win. Why not? What are you waiting for? Do it today. Anyway, while you're at it, hit like, hit subscribe. We're not even to 600 subscribers yet. What's going on with you guys? I don't get paid other than your generous contributions. So why am I doing this shit? To help you, and hopefully someday hit it big to where I am getting paid. This is my job, so I can actually do this for you all the time, and I don't have to go back to work and eventually shut down the show. I don't want to have to do that, and I don't want to beg you for money either. So just hit subscribe, get those numbers up, hit the like button, get those numbers up, and the rest will take care of itself. I thank you so much for your support and your continued viewership. Oh yeah, and another way to get entries to win this, hashtag TyRant Gang. Go all over the internet, Facebook pages, Twitter, Instagram. Post this video or any of my videos with the hashtag TyRant Gang. Take a screenshot, send it to me, and I'll give you an entry into the grand prize giveaway. That's simple. There's 3 ways to do it. Somehow, some way, you should be entering yourself to win this signed jersey. Could be worth big money someday, you never know. Swift's a great player, when he's not injured. Anyway, give the thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of my episodes. And I'll be back Saturday morning for the benches and bumps for the rest of the games. Until then, I'm out. Peace.